Hello and welcome back. My name is Raven, and we're talking Final Fantasy War of the Visions Brave Exvius today. We're doing an account overview for the 1 year anniversary. So today we will be talking about Espers and Vision cards. So let's get into it. This is going to be relatively short. For the most part, I do not have a lot of developed Espers, unfortunately, and as you can see, I'm actually pretty short on a lot of them. Espers have been kind of the bane of my existence for this game. They just have not wanted to show up for me. So we have what we have, and I feel like I've maxed out the ones that have been super important to me while conserving enough magicite to make sure I have enough for the ones that I want to show up. So we'll talk just real quick about them. For the most part, these are standard builds. Diablo is my big magic Esper here. I try to resonate him with as many people as I can. As you can see, I've got an absolute ton of magicite saved up for Behemoth when he finally draws near. So for the most part, we've got Diablo set up as our magical unit. He's going to give a bunch of magic attack up. He's going to give a bunch of magic up. And a little bit of slash resistance. I like having the slash resistance on him. I suppose I could move him into Light Eater. But for the most part, I'm not using him for that. Like, we're using him because I need him on either Ayaka or Medi or one of the calculators. So this is a really good feeling place for him right now. Next up, we will talk about Demon Wall. Demon Wall is really straightforward. He is Kane's Esper, and we use him primarily to deal with slashing units. Like, we had him set up for dealing with the Wall, Super Stern, Dwayne type comps. So we have him built tanky. He's got Dark Resist. He's got Slash Resist. So hopefully, usually Kane or Agrius or Engelbert or whoever's wearing him can survive a Hazard Crash. We're not seeing as many of those now, so I may or may not need to re-engineer him a little bit. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with him. I don't think there's anything I can do to really change him to make him better against, like, say, Garble. Or maybe I could push his light resist, make him a little bit better against Sakura. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the way I've got Demon Wall set up. Next up, we've got Ifrit. Ifrit is, again, another one of our Piercer type units. We've got some missile resist on him because we're just coming out of missile meta. But we've got him set up for Glacie right now. Glacie and Kane as a DPS unit. So, straightforward. Very straightforward. Give him the Pierce. Just let him hook up with a spear user and just stab things. Golem's our tanking unit. He's our physical tanking unit Esper thing. And the way I have him built up now is just for a ton of defense, a little bit of Pierce resist because we had some leftover AP, and then Maneater. Like, this is why he's good, is because he's got defense and Maneater. So you can put him on most any tank, and he's going to get a bit of an advantage. And he's just got, the tankity stats, right? Like, I mean, what's next? We've got Odin. Odin's pretty straightforward again. Like, most of these Espers are built the way they're built. We've got Odin set up for Maneater. We pulled him off of Slash Attack because I was using him as a backup on Kane and Glacie. But for the most part, he does what he does. Like, if I ever go back to using Sid or something like that, we'll rework him for the Slash Attack. But for the time being, he's perfectly good and very viable with all of this attack up, all this Maneater, and the slash resistance. Again, like, we run into Super Stern and Dwayne and stuff like that more often than not. So we feel comfortable with the way he is at the moment. Shiva. Shiva is one of our magic units. We use her for the magic up, magic attack up. So she sees use on Medi. She sees use on Ildi. We have her set up for Pierce Resist because we do run into a fair amount of Kane. Or we're running into a fair amount of Kane in PvP at that time. So I may have to go back and adjust her a little bit, but I'm not super worried about it. Behemoth was the first Esper that I kind of targeted out and started raising up and Magicite Chocobo farming for. And the reason is because he's a slash attacker. Like, I'm just straight up and out. He was a slash attacker. Should probably rethink 2 points of light res and not finishing Light Eater. But, Behemoth was the first Esper that we had running on like Mont and Stern and Sid and this, that, and the other thing. So we raised him up first and foremost very quickly. The next one's Siren. Siren they gave us for free for starting the game out, like when you first started the game. Siren was the free unit they gave you. She wasn't really the best thing ever. She's still not, but she's nice for having magic units. But right now I've got her set up for Pierce Attack for whatever reason. I need to go back and redo this. We've got her set up for Slash Resist, but I'm not really 100% sure how I'm going to re-engineer her yet. For now, it's fine to leave her with the Pass Resist. Pardon me. For now, it's fine to leave her with the Pierce Attack. Next up, we're starting to get into the units that I never really got around to, or ones that I can finish or should finish. But we're just a little resource starved. We're being conservative with our resources. With Behemoth on the horizon, I'm not really sure how much Magicite it's going to take to finish him, but I do want to finish him as soon as I can. We put a little bit into Tetra because we wanted someone for our gunners. We wanted someone with some magic resist, so we started putting some into Marlboro. I screwed up in the first however long this game was out, and I put a ton of Magicite into Zoo. That was a mistake. I really, really regret that, especially with Marlboro and Tetra sitting where they are. The next fire unit I'll run up is Lilith. Not Lilith. What is this thing? Lamia. Lamia here, and that's just because she's the one of the better units and is going to be one of the better units for Strike Up for a very long time. So eventually we'll get to working on that. She is one of those units that's big on my radar. I'm going to try to conserve, like Wind and Fire are the two Magicites I think I'm going to conserve the most of when we finally do get around to Behemoth. Rama is another magic unit, but I think with Behemoth that kind of fills out what I need for those. Cactar, I use Cactar a lot. I really should finish him out, but again, like Earth is probably going to be the first thing that gets dumped into Behemoth. Titan just came maybe a month ago for me. He popped up in a free pull, so I haven't had the energy, time to really build him out. On top of that, I'm pretty okay on Pierce units. I need to rearrange and figure out which units are going to do what, but we'll get there. Past that, like I don't feel the need to run any of these up anytime soon. Maybe Christmas Mog for some magic resist. Chocobo, I really actually want to run up sooner than later. But again, we're a little starved on green Magicite. But I really like his evocation. Raises agility and defense for 3 turns and heals. Like this feels like Ayaka's LB, but a little bit better. I'm excited to raise this thing up and get to using him eventually. So, onward to vision cards. And as you can see, like I am short on a lot of Espers. Like there's so many ones that I wish I had. And it's the same thing for vision cards. Like I raise vision cards as fast as I can, but getting the mats to do so, and even worse, getting the extra rainbow orbs to finish them out has been quite a battle. So we'll talk about these in pretty quick fashion. I think what I'll do is so most of these are pretty standout and obvious. Like Demon Wall was because I was leaning heavily on Kane, and I really like the character. So we raised Demon Wall as fast as possible. We wanted Kane to just be an absolute monster and to carry me. He's still carrying me, and he's going to carry me until next week when we get Yuna. God, I hope we get Yuna. Odin carried me on Sid. Like, we finished Odin as soon as we got him and could farm enough shards for him, but he went on to Sid and he just tore through people. He still does. Science of back to it. Science of House Bailu was the first Vision card I finished out, I believe. And wow, pardon me. It has been an absolute house. The extra agility is huge. The stat balance is nice. I still use it to this day. And there really has not been an agility card that's comparable until Black Rose Helena. And while I do like that more, given that it's magic oriented and it has the triggered ability on it, or the activated, whatever it is, ability on it, this has been more than enough for quite a long time, approaching a year now. The Shiva card we raised up because it had really easy shards. It's got a ton of magic on it, and it's got the evasion up. Eventually, I'll finish out the cards for evasion meta. That'll feel nice. Celebrating Crossing Paths. We'll get there. Like, this is very much on my radar, but I want to get past enough Rainbow Orbs to be able to finish Bahamut and Yuna both. And I'm not sure if I'm going to invest in Titus, so I'm really being conservative about how I spend my Rainbow Orbs right now. Trousseau. This card's a headache for me. I was really lucky to be able to roll this in my first pile of rolls when I got my starting units, and I've been working on it since. There are so few ways to get vision card shards that this has been an absolute horror to try to finish. And I'm still 100 shards short of being able to finish this thing. I'm going to have Bahamut done and ready before this thing gets done. But it'll be nice when it is. The next one, Holy Knights Mog. This card has actually done so much work for me. I really have been appreciative of it, even though I have neither of these units. This card has bestowed Dark Attack Res Up, Accuracy 18. What I do with this card is I throw it on Ayaka, especially in limited battles, because the extra accuracy pushes my other two units, which are usually like Cain and Agrius, to the point where their passive accuracy from their weapons plus this, for the most part, means I'm still hitting evade comps easily. The other half of this is Dark Attack Res Up 15. This has been fantastic, especially on a unit like Ayaka that she's squishy. She's a mage. She's a healer at that. But the extra 15 resistance has gone a large way to making it so she can survive, the odd getting caught in AoE from Super Stern, from Dwayne, from Cain, from these dark units that just kind of, usually will one-shot her. It's given her just a little bit more bulkiness that helps her survive that one turn that she needs to get that heal off. Past that, most of these are pretty obvious. The reasons for raising them, obviously, I guess these two, Crossing Paths and Search of Myrrh. The reason I raise this is for the JP up. JP up is huge. The more resources you can spend that snowball your resources, the better. We started raising this for Slash Up, and then it got completely overshadowed by Exorcist. So we do regret spending the shards on this, but, it's an extra vision card. It's great. Ifrit, we're just short on shards. We'll get there eventually. It's an amazing card. Snow White, I was trying resist builds for a little bit. Didn't quite work out the way I wanted to, but it's nice to have in the pocket for when I need it. Reed. So Reed, Blades of Grass, I guess it's called. It's like Reed Flute and JP or whatever. But I fell short on this because when I was doing my math, I just didn't have enough viz to finish out the units that I wanted and the flute. So we got it to where it is. It's okay. I use Mog more often than that now. Behemoth we raised up because Pierce meta. Didn't see Leviathan. But Pierce attack 15 res against Cain and Glacy has been very, very nice. Same thing here when Stern. When regular Stern and Sid were all the rage, having 15 slash up was really good. Especially being able to throw it on a unit like Sid or your tank or Angle or whatever, and just kind of be like, yeah, I'm really slow, but good luck. You're not going to break through and get me. Squid. Mind Flayer here is actually one of the better magic TMRs. The three magic TMRs right now that are kind of like must-haves for raiding are like Trousseau, Odin, not Odin, oh my god. Sorry. So like the three TMR, oh my god, words. So the three vision cards, there we go, that you really want in a magic raid are going to be Trousseau, Rama, and Mind Flayer. The reason is you get 2 magic ups, you get magic attack up from Trousseau, you get magic up from Rama, and you get the damage limit up from Mind Flayer. And those together are going to, more often than not, hopefully, create a situation where your units are going to be doing more than the 9,999 damage, and they're going to help you conserve turns. Like, doing just a little bit more is huge. Like, you get 20 turns to deal 130, 140, however much damage, and if you are capped at 10,000 damage, that means you need a minimum of 13 to 15 turns, or 14 turns, to make that 130 mark. However, if you lift that cap, suddenly you're able to do 110,000, 120,000, and every time you hit that mark, you're buying yourself a fifth of a turn. And over 10, 15 turns, that's pretty big. Like, I mean, how many raids have you fallen short? Like 1 turn, 2 turns. Vow of Love, I think, is probably the most important MR card in the game. It might be one of the most important cards in the game. And the reason is this bestowed hate up 5. As far as I know, there are no other cards in the game that have this. This is the must-have tanking card if your unit is not Warrior of Light. I see people skimping on it and just being like, well, it's fine. I'll let my Agrius Taunting Blade or my whatever Taunt Blade on turn 1, and it's fine. Well, the problem is, without this card on those types of units, your enemy's movements become incredibly unpredictable. It's very hard to it's hard in general to predict how your opponents are going to move, but the consistency in movement that this card creates for your tanks and in your auto PvP is just completely invaluable. Now, past that, we have a few cards that are raised up just because I didn't have anything better. Like, Magician is 3 stars right now because I don't have any more shards for Rama. Birth of New Life here was when we were looking at evade comps for a little bit, and Katone's card just never showed up. But, we're here where we are now. Slash card up is because we were still waiting on shards for Echoing Scream. Bomb. So, Bomb is actually up because I kept getting destroyed in tower. That's it. Bomb is up because the fire stage in tower just kept shredding me. Diablo is because I was looking at doing dark comp for a while. Cactar was actually is really good. Like, it's just a good all-around magic card. Agility up 12 is huge. Like, the amount of speed 12% agility offers you is gigantic on a healer. Like, especially Ayaka or even a calculator. Now, is it the best card you have? Absolutely not. But does it do a lot for what it costs? Totally. Now, past that, we start hitting the cards that either were shard short or rainbow vision sphere short on. And that's most of these. Like, I don't know why I put a shard into this. I don't remember. But this is not really doing what I wanted it to. This has been kind of overshadowed by Demon Wall. This just very recently came, so I don't have any shards for it. Fred's Dream's another one. Like, we will eventually awaken this just because it is so good for our missile units. Fred in particular, obviously. I mean, it is her dream. Blood Moon. Blood Moon was a unit or a card that I really wish I had been able to get more shards for, especially since I missed on Death Machine. Area attack res up is gigantic for PvP, especially in maps like the mines that we're currently in, where your units like to bunch up and get AoE'd to death. That would be a fantastic little boon. Moving along here, Castle Leonis. Castle Leonis is really, really big because of that bestowed defense and spirit. Like those two stats, that is a lot of defense and spirit on a vision card, especially a rare vision card, with a good party up too. Like crit +6 feels real nice. Its actual base stats are pretty bad. Like I really like to see like a UR version of this. Like I think that would be completely obscene. But for the most part, like we do roll this out from time to time, more often than not on my healer when they just need that little extra push to not die. Past that, we're getting into the cards that I just have not had use for. Ones that I will eventually maybe raise up, like this one. This is one that I do want to raise up, Sanctum Assassins. This Greetings from Afar, Aquatic Killer is pretty good. Like we've had a lot of raids where this has been helpful, but I haven't needed it yet. So I'd rather conserve my orbs, conserve my pots, and just wait until there's a situation where I absolutely have to have it. Yeah, like this is another card that is very much on my radar right now. There aren't many cards that have strike attack up. I think this might be like one of two. But at MR, like it seems pretty reasonable to just run this up and, slap it on Zyza, slap it on Etri. But for the most part, until I start really needing those units or start having to field them or, maybe EX them and want a good card for them, like the majority of this is just going to kind of sit here and wait for a really good use. In any case, that is our account overview for Vision Cards and Espers for the day. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Check out the links on the left. Follow my Twitter. If you are buying Viz and playing on the Amazon App Store, please check out the link below. It is to my Amazon store, whatever you want to call it. Buy coins, help support me. Very much appreciated. In any case, we will see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching.